Ki te taha tōku pāpa, ko nā te tāwhaki me te ngā iwi o hapū, ko nai tūhoi me te aitanga māhaki ngā iwi. Ki te taha tōku mana, ko tūwhaki iriora me te whānau a hene rupe, me te whānau a ue pōhatu, ko Ngāti Pro te iwi. Kia ora, I'm Tina Karaitiana. The council and our community want leaders and drivers of influence, and that's where the council's role is really. And to be honest, to realise that you've got to have people that think outside the square, blue ocean thinkers, that's what I call them. The word entrepreneurial beckons, that's what I think, and that's where I sit. And they have to be solution focused. They have to play in the same sandpit and row the same waka. And I think the other thing is that community players, they must be community players, and they have to have the intelligence and wherefore all to be able to articulate at the council table. I put down the roads. I put the roads into Tairāwhiti, Highway 35, but also our rural roads around Gisborne. I think I've said it before, Shannon, that roads lead to well-being of a community, and if we don't have that, their safety's at risk. So I think that, for me, that's a starting point. We're promising young councillors moving on to look after their families and their businesses. I think succession planning for the council is where we should be aiming. Only because my own philosophy is, if you haven't done 6 years, if you haven't done positive things or been change agents in 6 years, then it's time to move on. I don't believe in longevity in a job because, in my opinion, I think, 6 years is a long time to make a difference. The first term you go in, you learn about the job. Actually, you should be going in with the knowledge in the job, and the other 3 years it's to consolidate and make a difference. Simple as that. Yes and no to that question, Shannon. Simply because, yes, there are reforms. Council, when they have a look at the reforms, I understand they're looking at the loosening up of the supply chain network for our housing, particularly with iwi building houses here now, and loosening that up. But no, simply because a lot of the decision making is outside of that, the council chambers. It actually lies in the hands of central government. COVID and the global had a global impact on housing across the world, and so we're only a tiny little spot on that horizon. So if we think collectively and collaboratively, I think we can get there. Absolutely, I think they should. The Tairāwhiti Arts Festival has actually put us in that space to be able to go and grow from it. The word cultural entrepreneurship comes to mind. And the reason I say that is because we have the capability, the capacity, the expertise, look at yourself, and also the talent to grow that. And for me, why wouldn't we try and achieve and become the exemplar of arts in New Zealand? Why wouldn't we be that destination? That's my call on it. And the other thing is, the other obvious one is, why aren't we even capitalising on the fact that we are, whilst there may be some issues with people, we are the nation builder for the two cultures that came here. We've got stories to tell in that space. We've got, without art, I think we'd be, our whole canvas would be quite barren. If you look at what Toihokura has done, they've become renowned internationally as an art place to go to. I just think there's so much here. We've got galleries here that we haven't even considered. I was speaking with Nick Tupara the other day, and I said to him, why don't you have a gallery tour? Amazing, and just similar to what you're doing with your business and the screen and with young people. We got it here, Shannon. I'm passionate about that. And maybe because I work with Te Matatini and the arts, but seriously, there's so many, a cultural and entrepreneurial thing is not just, I'm not talking about just Māori here, eh? So don't get confused. I'm talking about cultural aspects for everybody that they come through. I just think Tairāwhiti offers that. We haven't done it there. Well, see, I talked about this some time ago. I think it's important for me to kanohi ki te kanohi, and I'd like to do that face to face with the communities, but I'd also like to, and I will use technology, because that's what we're about. We're a techno-savvy community, so, and plus it's almost like that anyway now, that we're using technology, Zoom, Teams, to network with people. So I believe that it's an obligation on behalf of each councillor to make sure that they engage with their communities. I only work with, I have worked and engaged with Māori and Pākehā people. Not that I didn't want to engage with the other ethnicities here, but simply I don't have that opportunity. But what I think is I do support, and I don't want to use this, but I do support them in business when I shop at businesses they own. But I think, as I've said about the arts, that art concept would envelop them, embrace them, so that we'll be able to share their cultural experiences as part of that unique opportunity for us, if we're up for the challenge, that is. On mitigating the water out into our, the wastewater out into our ocean out here, because one of the things we haven't discussed is our people, Māori, has been an issue, ongoing issue for them, and also for non-Māori, you know, to try and keep our beaches clean. So, in my opinion, maybe that's where I'd invest the money that will come through from the Three Waters. Mitigate that, because it's been ongoing for such a long time. Tairāwhiti community deserves to have loyal, responsible and transparent people at the helm, representing the voices of our community at the table, people who are dedicated and committed to our region, with the appropriate skills and competencies to be able to deliberate with the council mahi. These are the attributes on my councillor CV.